On a dating show, the production team required the guests to dress up as cartoon characters for their entrance. All the other guests were princesses and princes, only I was in an all-black outfit with a tall hat and a black robe. My face looked like it had been smeared with charcoal. Just as the audience started thinking that this Black Impermanence character, was already bizarre enough, a gasp suddenly came from the doorway. I turned around, and my eyes went wide. The person was dressed exactly like me, though it looked like they were playing White Impermanence. Judging by their build, it must be a girl. I had transmigrated into a national pet novel as a villainous supporting male character. Because my family doted on the fake young master, they kicked me out of the house. Penniless, I joined a dating show called Dangerous Relationships for a $6 million appearance fee. All on the recommendation of my agent, Brother Qian. At this moment, the girl playing White Impermanence pointed a trembling finger at me and huffed delicately. "You're copying me." I wasn't having it. "Clearly, you're the one copying me." My inner monologue was, being imitated, but never surpassed. I'm literally dying of laughter, guys. I'm 100% shipping this Black and White Impermanence duo. Ha ha ha. Their entrance was so trendy it literally gave me arthritis. Viewers flooded the chat with comments as Black and White Impermanence found a sofa and sat down. Director Wong sat down too. Now, the female guests can choose their preferred male guests for today's date, and then proceed with the date task. It was known that the guests had some history behind the scenes, and this was also a test for the female guests. We drew lots to decide the order. The first one up was the novel's heroine, Bai Qingshui. Bai Qingshui and the male lead were childhood sweethearts. Even though they were engaged, she mostly felt a sense of duty toward him. Bai Qingshui had a white moonlight, a secret crush, who was also on this dating show. In the later stages, Bai Qingshui would discover her crush's true colors and finally fall irrevocably in love with the male lead. Her gaze swept around the room and she chose the person dressed as Batman. If I guessed correctly, that person must be her white moonlight. The two of you can head out. Next up was White Impermanence. She looked at me. You're with me. I followed behind her. The guests were allowed to choose their date location. The first two couples picked the beach. I stared intensely at the two big characters for restaurant. White Impermanence spoke up. "We'll choose the beach." I said coldly, "We're picking the restaurant." "The beach?" The crew members were speechless. "Why don't you two just fight it out? When are you going to take off the voice changers and masks?" White Impermanence asked the staff if we could pick two locations. In the end, we took a car to the restaurant. Since the production team was footing the bill for all food and travel, I went crazy ordering dishes. After I had rattled off a dozen dish names, the staff couldn't stay calm anymore. "You can't waste food," I replied regretfully. "Alright then, let's just go with that for now. And finish with a small dessert, the semi-baked cheesecake." White Impermanence leaned back in her chair, and I rested my chin on my hand, looking out the window. We sat in silence for 10 minutes. "Please remove your makeup. After finishing your meal, you two need to rate your date. Out of 100 points. Can't I keep my face on? I can eat even like this." The staff shook their heads. The live chat was having a blast. "Is this Black Impermanence? Since you're too scared to show your real face, you might as well wear a mask like Black Impermanence. You insisted on painting your face like that, and now you're dumbfounded trying to wash it off, huh?" I sighed, helpless. "Fine, I'll go to the restroom and take it off." The cameraman followed me right away. After I scrubbed all the makeup off my face, I grabbed a disposable face towel, dried off, and turned around to head back. The chat exploded instantly. "Holy crap, Black Impermanence is actually Gu Shiyan? He looks so intense. That jawline is legendary. He's so damn handsome." I was completely focused on the food I ordered. Opposite where I was sitting, White Impermanence had already taken off her hat and the mask she was wearing. Hearing the movement, she looked over at me. With her hair like shimmering silver and her gaze icy cold, her thin lips were slightly pursed. Even when she wasn't smiling, her face had a soft, smiling look to it. I froze for a second. White Impermanence is so beautiful, for real. It was all real. I sat down and asked politely, "Can we eat now?" The woman across from me smiled, and even gave me a little wink, as if she were flirting on purpose. "Before we eat, shouldn't we introduce ourselves? After all, we'll be filming this show together. Is your eye twitching or something?" So tea-like. Truly the sound of a silent farewell. Silence is tonight's Cambridge. Gu Shiyan is such a great guy. Why did he have to be given a mouth? Gu Shiyan is just too handsome. He's doing that on purpose to get everyone's attention. My name is Bai Ningbing. My name is Gu Shiyan. On the other side, Batman and the Flower Fairy were standing by the edge of the endless sea. Blue sky met the ocean as they gazed deeply into each other's eyes and took off their masks at the same time. The air was practically filled with romantic pink bubbles. "Hello, I'm Bai Qingshui. Hello, I'm Ji Boda. This is the kind of dating show people want to watch. The stream next door is hilarious. Bai Qingshui, don't forget, you have a fiancé. Long time no see," Bai Qingshui said with a smile. Ji Boda lowered his head, his smile a bit shy. "I really didn't think you'd be able to recognize me." Bai Qingshui gave a small "I didn't think so either." to actually run into you here. It's getting a little cold. How about we head back? Ji Boda suggested in a soft voice. Sure, Bai Qingshui agreed, nodding. Ji Boda started to climb down from the reef, but he accidentally missed his footing. He let out a startled scream, and Bai Qingshui reached out to steady him. Ji Boda stumbled right into her arms. What the hell are you two doing? The man's voice sounded clearly angry. Shi Hao pulled off his mask. Beside him stood a flustered Cinderella. The two of them had also chosen the beach. They hadn't expected to run into each other here, leading to this dramatic scene. A love triangle showdown. I love it. Give us more. Ji Boda is just too handsome. He keeps brushing up against Bai Qingshui, saying all those ambiguous things. He's as handsome as me. I'm full and satisfied. When it came to the scoring session, the production team handed over paper and pens. They asked us to write down our scores. I scribbled mine down and handed it to the staff. I gave him a 10 and Bai Ningbing a -10. I turned my head and asked the staff, can I change it? I want to change it to -1 million. Will you two explain your reasoning? I spoke up. Aside from his face, he's absolutely useless. Bai Ningbing lightly touched her chin. Does that mean he thinks she's pretty? Guess I've got some taste after all. Then it was her turn. She spoke bluntly. He said I was acting like a pick-me girl. Her voice sounded inexplicably aggrieved. Is Bai Ningbing actually Bai Qingshui's sister? So, Bai Ningbing only gave Gu Shiyan a negative score just because he called her a pick-me. Does she have nothing else bad to say about Gu Shiyan? I was just about to leave. Someone called out to me. I looked toward the source of the sound. Lady Shiji, stood up. Her voice, filtered through a modulator, sounded especially harsh and grating. Why are you here? The other two pairs of guests were also dating at restaurants. The production team had a limited budget, so there were only 2 date locations. None of your business, I replied bluntly. Lady Shiji raised her hands and took off her headpiece. Familiar face was revealed. It was my original self's second sister, Shi Bian, striding over. Gu Shiyan, are you doing this on purpose? Coming on the same show as us just to bully Hao Hao? Don't even deny it. Gu Shiyan is definitely doing it on purpose. As a rich heir, it's totally normal for him to look down on our Hao Hao. I chuckled out loud. You've got a point. Silence fell over not just the guests, but all the staff on set too. Shi Bian was fuming. What did you say? How dare you talk to me like that? You crazy? So what? Shi Bian was speechless. So what makes a comeback? I lifted my foot to leave, but unexpectedly, Shi Bian grabbed my shoulder from behind. You go apologize to Hao Hao right now, and then quit this show. Before she could finish, I shook off the hand she had on my shoulder. I turned around and roared, get lost. The whole room was stunned. I clapped my hands and glanced at Bai Ningbing. What are you standing there like an idiot for? Let's go. Your second sister's eyes are weird. She's not my sister. As we walked away, the comments poured in. Is this really a dating show? This guy is absolutely unhinged. I'm a fan. In the car, I closed my eyes to rest. Every now and then, I felt a gaze fixed on me. I asked aggressively, what are you looking at? Bai Ningbing blinked her watery eyes. Can't I look? I was speechless. Never met someone so annoying in my life. We arrived at the villa. The other two pairs had already changed into their own clothes and were sitting in the living room. The air was thick with silence and awkwardness. Shi Hao stared at me in shock. You, why are you here? The eyes of the other 3 guests snapped onto me all at once. Is this your house? Shi Hao asked, a trace of embarrassment in his smile. Yan Ji, that's not what I meant. Don't care what you meant. As far as I'm concerned, we don't know each other. Stay away from me, got it? I turned to ask the staff where my room was. The staff had already moved their luggage into the rooms, so I followed them upstairs. I changed into a comfortable outfit, this time, a wealth and prosperity themed set. There was a boy laughing his head off right in the middle. Ha ha ha, can I get a link for that outfit? I found a spot far away from the other guests. On the farthest sofa and started scrolling through my phone. I hadn't even been sitting for a minute, when someone sat down next to me. What are you looking at? Let me see, Bai Ningbing said as she leaned her head over. I dodged her and said, get lost, in a flat, indifferent tone. Bai Ningbing wasn't about to lose interest that easily. After the guests finished the boxed lunches provided by the crew, they started finding seats one by one. The production team had already set up a stage. Director Wang passionately took the mic. Now we've reached the segment where our guests get to know each other. Each guest will introduce themselves. We will select the guest who gets the most mentions in the comments to come up and perform a talent. Guests are not allowed to refuse. We'll go in order from left to right. And of course, I was first. I don't think I need to introduce myself, right? Everyone here should already know me. Yan Ji, why don't you tell us what you're good at? Like, what kind of talents do you have? Staff member asked with a smile. I hesitated. Shi Bian let out a mocking laugh. What kind of talent could he possibly have? I couldn't be bothered to deal with that moron. Does being able to eat 10 steamed buns in one sitting count? The guests looked like they'd misheard me. Bai Ningbing, sitting next to me, burst into a giggle. What the hell? He eats more than the pig at my house. Isn't he embarrassed? This is hilarious. Is Gu Shiyan just here to be our entertainment? I glared at her. Can you do that? Bai Ningbing stopped laughing, shook her head, and continued, I'm Bai Ningbing. I'm really looking forward to spending time with everyone. Bai Ningbing finished with a smile. Her gaze landed on Bai Qingshui, and it hit me. Right, this Bai Ningbing is a villain who spends her time picking fights with her half-sister. The female lead herself. Either way, she's nothing but trouble. Bai Qingshui kept a cold face and ignored her. I'm quite good at many things. Piano, guitar, dancing, and so on. I curled my lip. It was obvious. Just another idiot who's only good at eating, drinking, and having fun. The next one was a cute young girl. I'm Zhang Shuiying, and this is my husband, Lin Bei. Lin Bei was sitting right next to her. Hi everyone, I'm Lin Bei. I took a closer look at them. This Zhang Shuiying changed her heart after joining this show and fell in love with the male lead, Shi Hao. In the original story, she was the devoted second female lead. We were both in groups that debuted as idols, so we were pretty good at singing and dancing. Later on, they both went into acting. As they kept acting together, they slowly grew fond of each other and became a loving couple. They decided to get married and became known as the model couple of the entertainment industry. After all, it's rare to see celebrities get married so young. Next up was Shi Hao. He finished his introduction and looked at Bai Qingshui, who then spoke up. I'm Bai Qingshui, Shi Hao's fiancé. In my free time, I like to read financial reports. Shi Hao reached out and took her hand. He was beaming with a bright smile, failing to notice that Bai Qingshui's gaze was fixed on Ji Boda. Ji Boda stood up. He had a gentle, refined appearance. He carried himself with such courtesy, but I knew he was a total schemer. He was also the second male lead from the original story and the protagonist's main rival. I'm Ji Boda, and I enjoy singing and playing basketball in my spare time. Once all the guests had introduced themselves, it was time for the viewer request performance segment. They were clearly trying to single me out. This is classic bad press is still press. The live chat was flooded with requests for me to sing an English song. Everyone knows I'm practically illiterate and never even went to college. My English is even worse. Asking me to sing in English was clearly meant to make a fool of me. Gu Shiyan, you can pick an English song you're comfortable with. I looked up and let out a confused huh? The director repeated himself. One of the guests, Fang Yuan, laughed out loud. Gu Shiyan, why are you playing deaf? Don't tell me you can't sing it and are just trying to wing it? With an attitude like yours, no wonder the Shi family can't stand you. I stood up and had a quick word with the sound engineer. Zhang Shuiying let out a soft laugh. Gu Shiyan really puts on quite a performance. Shi Hao couldn't hold back anymore. Guys, don't say that about Yanj. If I hadn't taken his spot, I'm sure he would have done great in his studies. Shi Bian laughed dismissively. Are you kidding? He's been in the industry for so many years, and hasn't accomplished a thing. He doesn't even put in the effort. Even if he had gone to school, he probably would have been a total slacker. Hao, I know you're kind-hearted, but there's no need to force yourself to speak up for him. The guest's words were filled with nothing but contempt and mockery for me. I began to sing the English song. The song had a steady, rhythmic beat. The moment I started, everyone froze. My singing sounded like broken, patchy English rattling along on a tractor. The guests couldn't help but laugh. Only a couple of them kept a straight face. I held the mic, singing with an air of complete indifference. But as the music reached a climax, the English lyrics suddenly became smooth and fluent. You'll understand that tonight, you'll be reborn. Even if covered in scars, I will still stand by your side. My voice was light and melodious, rising effortlessly with the accompaniment. The live chat went completely silent for over 20 seconds. I held the microphone, looked up at everyone, and saw nothing but shock and disbelief on their faces. Shi Hao's expression turned incredibly sour. Once the song ended, the room fell dead silent. Shi Hao was the first to stand up. He forced a smile. Yanj, that was amazing. Shi Bian couldn't believe I actually knew how to sing an English song. And that I did it so well. Gu Shiyan, you were just playing with us, weren't you? You clearly know how to sing. Why did you pretend you couldn't? You sounded so terrible at the start. Suddenly got the hang of it? Trying to act cool, huh? I looked at her furious face and let out a laugh. I never said I couldn't sing in English. You all just made that assumption yourselves. And you kept on yapping away, so I figured I'd let you all talk a little more. Just so I could admire that high and mighty look on your faces. Shi Bian was so angry she was speechless. Next up was Shi Hao, who had the most votes, a piano performance. Shi Hao had been playing piano since he was a kid and even won the city's youth competition before. This was a point his fans loved to brag about. Shi Hao stood up. Brother Yan, could you help me with the accompaniment? You sing pretty well, you must play instruments too, right? Are you sure? Shi Hao nodded. Of course. In my heart, you'll always be my good brother. Can I pick my own instrument? I told the staff to get it ready. After choosing the piece, Shi Hao intentionally picked something highly difficult. This will definitely be my big break. I held the violin. His posture isn't even right. The melodic piano music began to play. It was enchanting to listen to. His fingers danced across the keys. He looked like a god descended from heaven. Everyone's eyes were glued to Shi Hao. Until I stood up, gripping the violin in one hand. My other hand was still playing, and I shook my head as I played. My fingers were moving so fast they were a blur, and the sound coming out was eerie and ear-piercing. It was like a symphony for an afterlife visitation. As I played, I walked right up to Shi Hao. I sat down next to him and squeezed him right out of his seat. The guests were stunned. I tilted my head and chuckled. My gaze was cold, and there wasn't the slightest hint of warmth in my eyes. Why'd you stop? Don't you love playing? Shi Hao's smile turned awkward. This guy is seriously unhinged. Haha. I handed the violin to a staff member. Thanks for coming to my concert, everyone. Any other guests want me to perform? It's free for a limited time. The guests thought I was just too cool to handle. Shi Bian frowned. Gu Shiyan, you did that on purpose, didn't you? If you didn't know how to play, you could have just said so. Why ruin everything? I felt like it. Does that concern you? I shot her a glance and, looking totally unbothered, headed back to my seat. Shi Hao forced a smile. It's fine, really, as long as Brother Yan is happy. Since Shi Hao wasn't making a fuss, the others couldn't really say much. After they all finished their performances, Director Wong announced that the guests could head back to rest and get to know each other. Familiarize yourselves with the place. I let out a yawn, ready to head to my room to sleep. The guests had to prepare all their own meals here. You could use whatever food was in the fridge, but you couldn't waste anything. I lay down on the bed, and the camera crew followed me in. No way, man, is Gu Shiyan actually going to sleep? It's 4 or 5 in the afternoon, how could he possibly fall asleep? I said I was going to sleep, and within 5 minutes, I was out. The live stream audience couldn't believe someone could fall asleep that fast. The cameraman didn't really believe it either and called out my name. Yan, brother. I didn't react at all. The cameraman nudged me gently, just to make sure I was actually asleep. When I woke up, I went to hunt for some food and glanced out the window. I realized it was already dark out. I gave a lazy yawn. The kitchen was a total disaster zone. Everyone here is either some pampered young master or lady, or a celebrity singer. Hardly anyone knows how to cook. Whatever they make either ends up burnt or is just some kind of culinary nightmare. I opened the fridge. I noticed there wasn't much left to eat. The guests had basically ruined everything. I gave a faint smile and took out the only remaining head of cabbage. I found a bag of millet in the cupboard, put it in the rice cooker, and added some water. After hitting the switch, I went to wash the vegetables. On the other side, after Shi Hao poured the oil in. He waited until it was hot and tossed the veggies in. The pan started popping and sizzling loudly. Shi Hao got startled and dove straight into Bai Qingshui's arms. Bai Qingshui reached out to hold him, asking with a look of concern. Are you okay? Shi Hao shook his head, and gave her a shy look. Heh, heh, heh. A young engaged couple really is fun to watch, haha. Let me do it. After Bai Qingling said that, she took the spatula. I glanced over and started stir-frying my own dish. I even added 2 chili peppers. The stove area wasn't very big, so Bai Qingshui and I were practically standing right next to each other. Pass me the salt. Bai Qingshui is used to ordering people around. Even her tone was a bit high and mighty. I turned my head and looked at her, completely confused. I said, pass me the salt. Bai Qingshui repeated it. I just said, oh, and handed it to her. My compliance seemed to please her. As long as you stop bullying Hao Hao and stop trying to come between us, I can look out for you a bit more. She actually liked my face well enough. She just thought my personality was too dull and shameless. I didn't say a word. Shi Hao looked at Bai Qingshui, beaming. Sister Qingshui, you're so kind. Bai Qingshui assumed I had accepted her terms. Her attitude became even more casual. Let's eat together later. Pass me the soy sauce. I was stir-frying my spicy cabbage. Without a word, I handed her the soy sauce. Dark soy sauce. I handed that over too. My behavior successfully put Bai Qingshui in a good mood. Her cold, aloof face even showed a hint of a smile. Bai Qingshui opened her mouth to ask for the vinegar. I had just added vinegar to my own dish, so I gripped the vinegar packet tightly. Bai Qingshui reached out, but she didn't expect me to dodge. I wouldn't let her get her hands on it. Bai Qingshui raised an eyebrow. Are you trying to get my attention? I've seen guys like you 1,000 times. I squeezed the packet, and the vinegar sprayed out toward her like a tiny fountain. Bai Qingshui looked completely stunned as the vinegar streamed down her face. It soaked her high-end designer jacket. Bai Qingshui took a deep breath. Gu Shiyan, you jerk. I threw the empty packet into the trash, turned off the stove, and Shi Hao, looking furious, charged right at me. Yan, brother, you've gone too far, Shi Hao shouted, raising his hand to slap me. But before he could, I grabbed his wrist and slapped him across the face instead. The smack was deafening. The guests were all completely stunned. Are you telling me this is a dating show? What the hell? This feels more like a lecture hall. Are you kidding me, man? Is Gu Shiyan really that crazy? That's the CEO of the Shi group. How does he even dare? He couldn't even afford the jacket Bai Qingshui is wearing. Wait, what is wrong with the live chat? Wasn't Bai Qingshui just ordering Gu Shiyan around? Look at how she looks down on him in every word. Honestly, I'd want to slap Bai Qingshui too. While the live chat was busy arguing, Shi Hao's eyes reddened. He looked like he was about to cry. I let go of his arm. Next time, it's not going to be as simple as just a slap. Bai Qingshui's expression turned icy instantly. She threw her jacket at me. Get that clean for me. And apologized to Hao. Are you drunk, talking to us like that? Who do you think you are? You want me to wash your jacket? As soon as I said that, I snatched her jacket and threw it on the floor, stomping on it a few times. I'll help you wipe the vinegar off the floor while I'm at it. You want me to pay for your jacket, right? Show me the receipt then. Oh my god, I'm shocked. To be honest, Gu Shiyan is handling this brilliantly. Fang Yuan stormed over with his rice bowl. You dare bully Hao? I'm not letting you get away with this. He yelled, throwing the bowl of instant noodles at me. With quick reflexes, I grabbed Shi Hao's arm and yanked him in front of me. The bowl of noodles landed square on Shi Hao instead. Shi Hao's eyes went wide. I pulled my hand back and scoffed. Look at that. Your good buddy is treating you to some noodles. Enjoy the meal. Shi Hao was on the verge of a breakdown. Fang Yuan stood there, stunned. Shi Hao, I didn't mean to. Are you okay? Shi Hao gritted his teeth. Did he really look like he was okay? Asking the obvious. Holy crap, the show just started and the guests are already losing it. Is this really going to be watchable? Ha ha ha, Shi Hao forced a smile. It's alright, no big deal. I brought my food over, content to munch on a steamed bun and some sour spicy cabbage. The girl sitting opposite me stared at me longingly. Can I? Before she could finish, someone else cut her off. Can I have a bite of your food? Bai Ningbing leaned over, poking her head into my space. She blinked her big eyes. No. Bai Ningbing pulled up a chair and sat next to me. I'll pay. Are you serious? As soon as she heard pay, I nodded repeatedly. 500 for a meal, deal? I nodded and held out my hand. Bai Ningbing pulled out her phone. Let's add each other on WeChat. I'll send it to you. So the food was just an excuse, huh? You kid, don't think we don't know what you're really after. The girl opposite couldn't help but speak up. Can you add me too? I took a look at her. This little sister's name is Shen Yuchu. She's a rookie idol. She's definitely not on this dating show to actually find love. She's just here to build some hype. If Zhang Shuiying is the male lead Shi Hao's #1 fangirl, then she is #2. The former divorced Lin Bei for Shi Hao, and the latter gave up her career just to act alongside him. No way. I looked away, happily digging into my meal after pocketing those $500. The other guests stared at the pathetic food in front of them, then cast jealous looks at me as I ate with such gusto. You could practically see the envy in their eyes. Shi Hao finished cleaning up, the slap mark on his face bright red. Shi Bian was acting like she was heartbroken over it. She shot a vicious glare at me. Gu Shiyan, this is the last chance I'm giving you. If you dare to treat Hao like that again, don't blame me when I get you blacklisted. I finished my meal and stood up, walking slowly toward Shi Bian. Shi Bian immediately got a bad feeling. She instinctively took a step back. You, what do you want? I let out a laugh. Cute. Were you raised on nothing but water? You don't even seem to know how to speak like a human anymore. That's a 666 from me, because that was just 6 levels of ridiculous. I felt great after that verbal smackdown and strode away. Shi Hao hung his head, looking completely guilty. It's all my fault. If I hadn't taken his position, he wouldn't be treating my second sister like this. Bai Ningbing put down her chopsticks, looking visibly annoyed. If you know it's your fault, then change it. What's the point of just saying that over and over? Exactly. Why is Shi Hao so dramatic? What does this have to do with whether or not he took Gu Shiyan's spot? I'm suddenly realizing how fake Shi Hao is. What are you guys talking about? Gu Shiyan got lost on his own. It's not like our Hao caused it. The live chat was in an absolute frenzy. Early the next morning, I received a mission from the show's crew. The male guests had to make breakfast for the female guests. If a female guest refused it, the guy would have to accept a punishment task from the crew. I glanced at my phone. 6 in the morning? Are they insane? I muttered to myself, then flopped back down to sleep. I'm here for the money, not to find a girlfriend. Besides, even if I slave away making breakfast, if the female guest won't eat it, I still get punished anyway. The 5 female guests. 2 of them are the male lead's fangirls, 1 is his fiancée. 1 is the person I hate most, and the last is a spoiled rich girl who seems to have a few screws loose. So, whoever wants to do this idiotic mission can go right ahead. Meanwhile, the crew frantically asked the director, what if the guests refuse the mission? The director replied that there was no way around it. They just have to accept the punishment. Did you ask Gu Shiyan why? He said it was insane. The director was speechless. Gu Shiyan clearly couldn't appreciate such a brilliant idea. The director had already witnessed the kitchen disaster from yesterday, So all the ingredients today were pre-processed, just needing some simple prep. Are you sure about this? The assistant looked at the screen, a smirk on her face. It really doesn't look like it's going well. On the monitor, Boda rinsed a piece of beef with water and then tossed it directly into a frying pan. Oil splattered everywhere instantly. All 4 male guests let out piercing screams. I finished freshening up and sauntered out of my room. I walked a little further and leaned against a doorframe, watching Boda and Shi Hao walk up to Bai Qingshui's door at the same time. They knocked, and after a few minutes, Bai Qingshui opened the door, looking dazed. What are you two doing? Boda spoke up. Qingshui, I made these beef burgers. Try my cooking. Shi Hao held his sandwich up higher. Sister Qingshui, I remember you like things a bit lighter. Hurry, try mine. I bet a bag of spicy strips that Bai Qingshui definitely picks Shi Hao. After all, they're childhood sweethearts who grew up together, right? I'm betting on Boda. Word is he's the school heartthrob. And Bai Qingshui's white moonlight crush. Wait, I think I spotted someone. Is Gu Shiyan actually eavesdropping? What are you talking about? My brother Yan is listening fair and square. As it turns out, gossiping is just human nature. I was leaning against the door watching the show, when the door suddenly swung open, and I lost my balance and tumbled forward. A pair of slender, pale arms caught me. Oh my, throwing yourself at me first thing in the morning? How embarrassing. I shyly pulled away from her. Bai Qingshui walked right past the other two and approached me. Gu Shiyan, how can you be so shameless? I was completely baffled. Did this woman take the wrong medicine? I was just quietly watching the drama. How does that earn me an insult? Shi Hao's expression darkened. He figured I was using these kinds of underhanded tactics to seduce Bai Qingshui. I was speechless. You talk about shame? Your face is thicker than a city wall. You couldn't break it with a sledgehammer. Bai Qingshui's face looked awful. She thought it was outrageous that I was hugging Bai Ningbing first thing in the morning. I stopped paying attention to Bai Qingshui and turned to leave. Bai Ningbing's gaze shifted slowly to Bai Qingshui. Big sister, if something's wrong with your brain, go get it fixed. Don't make the old man worry. Bai Qingshui looked annoyed, but didn't say a word. Lin Bei gave his wife her breakfast, and the two of them were being sickeningly sweet. The shipper fans were loving it, making their live stream the most popular one. I just leaned against the kitchen doorframe and munched on a burger. Bai Ningbing walked up to me. Got any more burgers? I felt like this person was being way too friendly. Nope. And even if I did, I wouldn't give you one. Bai Ningbing smiled. I'll give you $1,000. You want me to make you one? Sure thing, boss. Coming right up. I'll rush it for you. How many burgers could you buy with $1,000? You just have too much money and nowhere to spend it, right? Your intentions are way too obvious, lady. While the comments section was busy throwing shade, I'd already fried the meat for her. Once it was wrapped, I handed the burger over. Boss, enjoy your meal. Bai Ningbing chuckled. What if I wanted you to feed it to me? How much would that cost? If you could argue earlier that she just wanted someone to eat with, then this sentence was a blatant flirtation. Unfortunately, I'm as dense as a log. Do you want me to shove you and this burger into the toilet together? Bai Ningbing was speechless. Bai Qingshui hadn't touched a single bite of the breakfast Shi Hao or Boda had made. When Shi Hao came downstairs, he saw me standing with Bai Ningbing. Needless to say, that burger was definitely made by me. So, Gu Shiyan completed the mission? Then what was the point of me getting up so early? What about the sandwiches I worked so hard to make? They couldn't even compete with a random burger someone else threw together. Boda laughed from behind him. Looks like the two of us are going to have to face the production team's punishment. Shi Hao twitched his lips. Boda, brother. Qingshui is my fiancé, you know, Boda said with a chuckle. Oh, is that so? Then why didn't she eat the sandwich you made? Why did things suddenly get so tense? Just asking. Is this a masculine contest now? Shi Hao's smile became strained. He looked like he'd been hit hard. Boda added with a beaming smile. You wouldn't happen to be insecure about your own fiancé, would you? Why are you so nervous? Is it because your fiancé doesn't actually like you? Could it be that she's into your brother instead? Real young master is much more handsome than you, he said, his voice sounding incredibly gentle. Yet, every single word was a jab at Shi Hao's heart. Shi Hao silently clenched his fists by his sides. The guests having breakfast in the dining room looked at each other, clearly enjoying the juicy drama. I was happy to see Shi Hao's expression, but dragging me into it was a bit rude. Boda covered his mouth. Did I say too much? Sorry about that, I'm just a bit of a straight shooter. But think about it, the whole point of this variety show is to observe the loyalty between partners. Don't worry, though, Qingshui is definitely not that kind of person. Shi Hao nodded, looking completely naive. I trust sister Qingshui. Realizing he couldn't out-talk Boda, Shi Hao switched his target to me. Brother Yan, when did you get so close to Ningbing? I gave him a cold look. Are you trying to lead the viewers to think I used underhanded methods to seduce your fiancé's sister? Shi Hao's eyes widened. How could that be? Brother Yan, you misunderstood. I didn't think that much into it. How, wouldn't have such complicated thoughts. Chi Boda is such a green tea snake. That's disgusting. Then what is your how? A pure and innocent little boy? Talk about a total shutdown. Brutal, sisters. Ha, forgive me for laughing out loud. Bai Ningbing said nonchalantly, it was me who was pestering Gu Shiyan. After that, all the guests were left speechless. Then came the mission results. The male guests who completed the mission were me and Lin Bei. The other 3 reached out simultaneously, and pulled out a slip of paper. I was a bit surprised. I actually finished the mission, and I didn't even bother getting up early to cook. I even got an extra $1,000. I was in a great mood. I even started to find Bai Ningbing a bit more tolerable. She gave me a wink. Don't you think you should thank me? Get lost. Ha. That wink from Bai Ningbing was so smooth. I've decided, their CP name shall be Black and White Impermanence. Is this the underworld CP? Does the King of Hell have to thank you too? This time, the punishment is physical. Running, push-ups, and sit-ups. The male guests have to finish it within a day. Next up is the tea party session. They'll draw questions from the live stream comments to ask the guests, and the guests cannot refuse to answer. The production team gave the audience 5 minutes to send in comments, so I grabbed a large date and started munching on it. It was a crisp, crunching sound. The production assistant was in charge of reading the questions from the screenshots. The first comment was for Shi Hao. Could you ask, what's the most touching thing Bai Dai has ever done for Hao? Shi Hao froze for a second. Then, he shot a slightly shy glance at Bai Qingshui and said, there are just too many. Can't even remember them all. I really couldn't help but laugh out loud. Is it because not a single one of them was actually done for you? Shi Hao's expression darkened instantly. Yan Ji, what do you mean by that? Nothing much. Just those things you had posted online. Like spending a fortune to buy you a watch, or dropping out of important meetings. Just to hook up with you in the office. It's all fake, right? Only a fool would believe that. Saying all this didn't do me any favors, but I just wanted to make them uncomfortable. I looked at Bai Qingshui. You're not saying anything? Could it be that you actually did hook up with your fiancé in the office? This point-blank attack made the other guests gasp in shock. No way. Man, this is a live broadcast. Have you actually lost it? This is so awkward. I'm broadcasting this, bro. Bai Qingshui's face looked absolutely terrible. No such thing, your fiancé denied it, then. Shi Hao had been through way too much stress this morning. He took a deep breath. Like he was working up the courage, he spoke up. Yan Ji. I don't know what you're talking about. I know I took your place. And I know you envy me for being Qingshui's fiancé. I'm sorry to you. Could you please stop trying to take her away from me? Take her? Like I'd even want her. What did you say? Bai Qingshui clenched her fists tight. She really looked like she wanted to rip my mouth apart. Gu Shiyan is just too good at talking. Ha. Absolutely insane. If you edit this video, and add some background music, some idiots are gonna be obsessing over this like crazy. They've really been brainwashed, haven't they? Those idiots falling for the fake ship. They're just letting them empty out their pockets. Bai Ningbing gave me a thumbs up and lowered her voice to whisper in my ear. Haven't seen her this mad in a long time. Her warm breath brushed against my ear, giving me a tingling sensation. I smacked her on the head. Back off. Bai Ningbing ducked her head to dodge. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly. System check. Target's heartbeat value is -5. It had started at -50. This meant her efforts were actually working. This was a strategy system Bai Ningbing had bound herself to a few days ago. She could choose a target to pursue, and for every 10 points of heartbeat value she gained, she would receive 10,000 gold coins. Those coins could be used to buy items in the shop. Aside from that, she had also learned that she was the villainous second female lead in a novel. Her entire purpose was to serve as a foil for her half-sister. Because readers hated Bai Ningbing so much, she was selected by the system to be bound. And the reason Bai Ningbing chose to go after me was simple. My bizarre way of thinking was just like hers. Second question. The assistant coughed once. I'd like to ask Gu Shiyan. The director coughed. Skip this question. They are a professional production crew, after all. Why skip it? Let me answer this netizen's question. Vigil keeping is 6,000 for the night. Wailing at the funeral is an extra 2,000. Suona performance is 2,800, and a full-service funeral package is 26,000. May I ask how many people in your family passed away? We offer a discount for 2. A discount for 2? Are you kidding me? Ha. Hey, next question. Even the director is stuttering now. This guy is truly untouchable. The young assistant continues. I'd like to ask Lin Bei. Is it true that your wife, Zhang Shuiying, was exposed for having an affair? Zhang Shuiying grabs Lin Bei's hand and raises it. Doesn't this explain everything? No matter how much mud others try to sling. For things I haven't done, my husband would never doubt me. Shen Yuchu, the youngest of the group, being quite naive, exclaims, wow, I'm so envious of your love. I can't help but chuckle. Envious that her husband is a little wimp? Lin Bei's eyes widen. Who are you calling a wimp? I recall that in the original story, Lin Bei actually forgave the male lead. Believing the male lead was just Zhang Shuiying's male best friend. He's smart enough for that. Have you checked your wife's phone? Lin Bei thinks for a moment and shakes his head. He thought he was being loved, but it turns out he just forgot to check her phone. Zhang Shuiying's expression changes. Gu Shiyan, my husband and I haven't provoked you. Why are you trying to sow discord in our relationship? Have you forgotten the purpose of this dating show? If your relationship is truly that unbreakable, what are you afraid of regarding outside influence? Zhang Shuiying is left speechless. Lin Bei lowers his head and says nothing too. The next question is for me. Gu Shiyan, you publicly confessed to Zhang Shuiying. Are you trying to be the other man? Otherwise, why would you do that? I laugh. With this face of mine, do I need to be the other man? I didn't confess to Zhang Shuiying. Someone took my phone and sent that. As I say this, my gaze falls on Shi Hao. Shi Bian finally can't take it anymore. Gu Shiyan, what do you mean by looking at Hao like that? Shi Hao looks bewildered and innocent. Yan Chi, you wouldn't be trying to say that I took your phone to send it, would you? Even if I had the chance to touch your phone, how would I know your password? Zhang Shuiying lets out a laugh. Her tone full of arrogance and a hint of disdain. Gu Shiyan, even if you like me, just admit it straightforwardly. Why frame Hao? Do you only know how to spout nonsense now that you have a mouth? Lin Bei glances at her more closely. Zhang Shuiying is being haughty, having lost all her low-key, humble charm. His wife isn't usually like this. I let out a mocking laugh. Can't you even see what you look like? I wouldn't even like you if you were begging on the street. What kind of idiot are you to come and blabber in front of your daddy? Zhang Shuiying is stunned by my cursing, standing there like a statue. I take a sip from my cup and lean back against the sofa. Continue. I want to ask Shi Bian. What is your reason for hating Gu Shiyan? The assistant's tone is even more uneasy. Afraid that whatever Shi Bian says might trigger me, and that the two of them will have another huge fight. Second sister, Yan Ji is my brother after all. Watch your mouth, Shi Hao said in a gentle, soft-spoken voice. I was fooled by his hypocritical face at first, too. I actually thought he was kind and gentle. After getting burned a few times, I finally woke up, Shi Bian scoffed. He's vulgar, rude, and full of nothing but bad intentions. He's always bullying you, yet you're still sticking up for him? Asterisk peeved. A date pit that had just been chewed on struck Shi Bian square in the face. She clutched her face. Gu Shiyan, stop testing my patience over and over again. I let out a laugh. Didn't you just say I was vulgar, rude, and full of bad intentions? So, I'm just showing you what that looks like. Shi Bian stood up. She looked ready to start a physical fight. I stared at her coldly. If you dare touch me, let me tell you, I happen to know a thing or two about fighting. If you don't believe me, feel free to try. Veins were bulging on Shi Bian's forehead. Since she couldn't win with words or fists, she snapped, fine. I'll just wait and see what you amount to without the Shi family. Don't regret this. Don't worry, I replied. Even if grass grows over your grave, I won't regret a thing. It was clear that Gu Shiyan had officially cut ties with the Shi family. I'd felt it would happen sooner or later. The Shi family never really wanted this son anyway. Otherwise, why wouldn't they have changed Gu Xian's last name when he returned? The tea party ended. I was the only one left drinking tea and eating fruit, having thoroughly offended everyone on the dating show. But I had no fear. Amidst a sea of hostile gazes, I was heading upstairs leisurely when Shi Hao suddenly spoke up. Yan Ji, don't you think you owe everyone an apology? I hate it when people ask me for apologies. This guy is like a poison. He repeats that same line every time he sees me. Doesn't he get tired of hearing himself? I'm already sick of it. Apologize for what? You stirred up trouble between us and intentionally said those strange things. Don't you think that's a bit uncalled for? Shi Hao said, acting all self-righteous. He looked like he was standing up for everyone's justice. Where did I stir up trouble? If you don't like what you hear, just cover your ears. My mouth is on my own face. I'll say whatever I want to say. Shi Hao froze. He didn't expect me to be such a nuisance, but at least I wasn't cursing, which was a good sign. But you've already affected others, he said. I asked him sincerely, who exactly did I affect? If your relationships are that fragile, why even come on the show? The chat stream instantly exploded with cheers. The world keeps beating me down, and somehow, my skin has become tender and springy. The world kisses me with pain, and I just stick my tongue out at it. The other guests were left speechless. If there's nothing else, I'm going upstairs to sleep. You're going to sleep now? You're not having lunch? The guests couldn't understand someone like me. I probably looked completely unhinged to them. I sauntered upstairs. Bai Ningbing curled her lips into a smile. Lin Bei, remember to check your wife's phone properly. Bai Ningbing turned to look at Shi Hao, her smile filled with dark amusement. Doing it with my older sister in the office? You're so good at making things up. Do your parents know? Shi Hao's face turned pale. I didn't do it. Bai Ningbing ignored him completely and held up one finger toward Bai Qingshui. Then, she held up a second finger toward Zhang Shuiying. What do you call this? A wife sings and her husband follows? Black and White Impermanence are truly the most formidable. Ha ha ha. Bai Ningbing didn't care about offending anyone. After she finished, she sauntered away. Sister Qingshui, I honestly have no idea what's going on with all that stuff online. It wasn't me, and I had no clue about any of it. Bai Qingshui didn't really pay attention to those kinds of things. A lot of people were shipping her and Shi Hao, especially since she did have a pre-existing engagement with the Shi family. To her, it didn't matter who that person was. For the sake of the company, she could play along. But she hadn't expected it to be so ridiculous. If it weren't for people pointing it out, she wouldn't have even known. Watching Shi Hao look so guilty gave her a massive headache, so she turned her head toward Ji Boda. Let's head to the gym for a workout. I remember you posting some gym photos before. Ji Boda's mouth curled into a smile. Sure, sounds good. Shi Hao stared blankly at their backs as they walked off together. Are you kidding me? That's way too much. Bai Qingshui. How could you do that to Hao? I had a feeling they were just putting on a show. This is insane. She just ditched her fiancé and left with another guy. I'm going back to my room to lie down and play games. The audience felt bored, and the popularity of the livestream dropped rapidly. Once I plugged my phone into charge, I left my room and made sure to lock the door behind me. When I got downstairs, Shi Hao was trying to cook based on a tutorial on his phone. And to show off, he'd taken it upon himself to handle the cooking for all the other guests. None of the other guests knew how to cook, so having someone offer to do it for them was perfect. Why wouldn't they go for it? So, everyone went off to do their own thing. There were plenty of ingredients today. I decided to make spicy shrimp tails, and then stir-fry some potatoes. Gu Shiyan, I'm making lunch. Could you help me prepare a dish? Bai Ningbing walked over. Sure, let's make a couple more dishes. Shen Yuchu heard them and ran over too. Can you include me? I'll pay. Shi Hao heard their conversation and turned back, saying, I'll do it for you guys. I won't charge anything. I'm just happy to take care of everyone. Hao is so sweet. Unlike some Gu guy who just came on the show to cash in. His cooking doesn't even look that great. Other than Bai Ningbing, who's blind. Who else would even bother? Bai Ningbing acted as if she hadn't heard a word Shi Hao said. She just said directly, I'm heading over. I gave a hum of acknowledgement. Shen Yuchu looked hesitant. Was she paying me to cook, or? Yuchu, you must be exhausted after your run. Go take a rest. I'll call you when it's ready. Shi Hao's smile was overly enthusiastic. Shen Yuchu saw that I had no intention of engaging with her either. So she could only nod. It was a little past 12 noon. Shi Hao and I finished preparing our meals at almost the exact same time. I made corn and yam pork rib soup, hot and sour shredded potatoes, garlic sauce baby bok choy, and spicy shrimp tails. A balanced meal is healthy. Shi Hao made chicken soup, a veggie dish, stir-fried loofah with eggs, and shredded pork with garlic sauce. If he hadn't said anything, you really couldn't tell by the looks of it. Shen Yuchu felt a bit of regret. She should have just spent $1,000 to have him cook for her instead. But seeing his gentle, smiling face, everyone, dig in, Shen Yuchu couldn't bring herself to say anything more. Shi Baiyan's eyes landed on the dishes I'd made, and she looked a little hungry. You have to understand, ever since I came back a few months ago, I'd basically been doing all the cooking for the Shi family. Shi Bian suggested, Gu Shiyan, why don't we all eat together? You can try what Hao made too, and you two can trade some cooking tips. As she spoke, she reached out with her chopsticks to grab some of my food, but I swiped her chopsticks away. Gu Shiyan has zero manners. Just a passerby here. I really can't stand this anymore. Some people in the chat are seriously brain damaged. Didn't Gu Shiyan already cut ties with the Shi family? And didn't Shi Bian threaten to blacklist him? Shi Bian treats a fake young master better than her own brother. Why are you idiots trying to moral shame Gu Shiyan? I don't even want to get into Gu Shiyan's past black materials. How can you expect to treat him like a normal person? I'm just starving, Ji Boda chimed in. Gu Shiyan, can I eat the food you made? I see you've made plenty. I can pay you. I glanced at him. Fine. 2,000, Shi Hao gasped in shock. 2,000? Yan Ge? One meal isn't worth that much, is it? I let out a dry laugh. I'm the one who cooked the food. I can charge whatever I want. Is it any of your business? Shi Hao clearly hadn't learned his lesson yet. He kept trying to undermine me time and time again. I didn't mean it like that. If you're really short on cash, I can give you some. WeChat or Alipay? Before Shi Hao could finish, I had already held out my QR code, both apps open and ready. Ji Boda scanned it. I'll pay first. Shi Hao was extremely embarrassed and looked at Shi Bian for help. Shi Bian couldn't stand seeing her brother get bullied like that. She exploded. Gu Shiyan, are you really so desperate for money that you'll do anything? Is it true that as long as someone pays you, you'll sell yourself? Before she could finish her sentence, I picked up a glass of water and splashed it right in her face. Listen here, you Shi woman. I'm warning you, if you dare mess with me again, I will make you pay a painful price. Shi Baiyan's pupils trembled as she used every ounce of her strength to fight back the urge to scream. The production crew rushed over, but not a single person dared to step in. Bai Ningbing reached out and grabbed my arm. Are we not eating anymore? We are. I set the glass I'd been gripping tightly back down on the table. Sit down and eat. After the little scene, I headed to the third floor and entered the screening room. There was a huge projection wall in the room. The computer allowed us to select a movie to project. I clicked on a film and turned to ask a staff member. We can eat the snacks and drinks on the table, right? The staff member nodded immediately. I grabbed a bucket of popcorn and started snacking. As the movie just began, I grabbed a bucket of popcorn and started snacking. The movie had just begun. The door clicked, and a figure walked in. It was Bai Ningbing. After she entered, she pressed the small lock. She locked the door. Mind if I sit next to you? She asked playfully. I replied, if I said I did, would you leave? Nope. So why the hell are you even asking? Bai Ningbing sat down next to me and looked at the big screen as the movie started. Ah, watching a movie together. Did Bai Ningbing just lock the door? She's so calculating. I love it. Wow, wow, wow. If you're not shipping this, you're doing it wrong. Halfway through the movie, it got to a scary part, and Bai Ningbing suddenly leaned into me. She reached out and grabbed my shirt. If you're scared, just close your eyes. With a beauty like Bai Ningbing suddenly pressing against me, her face buried in my shoulder. That spot felt burning hot. I could even feel her breathing. And I could hear it with my ear too. I tried to pull away, but she grabbed on tighter. Then just cut it off. You're so heartless. After the movie finished, we walked out one after the other, and ran straight into Shi Hao. Shi Hao looked at me and Bai Ningbing, stunned. Ningbing, did you go see a movie with Yan? If you don't need your eyes, you can donate them. Shi Hao felt that this Bai Ningbing was just as annoying as I was. He forced a smile. I'm supposed to be your future brother-in-law. Isn't it a bit uncalled for to talk to me like that? Bai Ningbing hated it when people put on a show. Cut the act. You're disgusting. After saying that, she quickly followed after me. Early the next morning, the guests were notified to gather in the living room. We had to write down the traits of our ideal partner, and based on those descriptions, they would make the matches. Finally, the couples would be taken to their date locations by a private car. The staff handed out paper and pens. 5 minutes later, the guests handed them in. The assistant pasted them onto a small mobile board one by one and read them out. First up is our young master Shi Hao. He wrote, gentle, sweet, and cute. Second is our little cutie, Shen Yuchu. Shen Yuchu likes someone who is cold, domineering, gentle, and caring. Shi Hao glanced at her, deep in thought. Could this Shen Yuchu have a crush on him? Third is our icy beauty, Bai Qingshui. Her ideal type is pure, gentle and kind, and attentive and thoughtful. Pure. Is she talking about our Hao Hao? Shi Hao doesn't really look that pure, does he? I'm rooting for Ji Boda on this one. Fourth is our second heiress, Bai Ningbing. She likes handsome guys, and big handsome guys. The assistant had a huge look of confusion on her small head. The guests couldn't help but laugh. That's way too straightforward. The assistant coughed. Next is our campus heartthrob, Ji Boda. His ideal type is someone with good character, right values, and strong decisiveness. The only person among the guests with decisiveness is probably Bai Qingshui, the CEO. Bai Qingshui smiled calmly. She and Ji Boda went to the same university. She had confessed to him before, but she never expected to be rejected. As they say, what you can't have is always on your mind. She was very happy to run into Ji Boda on this dating show. Next up is our cute and virtuous Zhang Shuiying. Her ideal type is someone strong, gentle, and a man who loves his wife. Lin Bei flashed a brilliant smile. Zhang Shuiying smiled and held his hand, but the corner of her eye caught a glimpse of Shi Hao. I fell into deep thought. Look at simp number 1, about to lose it. The male lead is basically maxed out on charm, isn't he? He just has to stand there and people fall for him. Next up is, well, us. My poor assistant is racking his brain, but he can't come up with a single compliment for me. I mean, I'm covered in scandals and I have these random crazy outbursts. Look, I'm clearly not all there mentally. Our next subject is Gu Shiyan. I seriously feel like cursing. How come everyone else gets praised, but I don't? I pulled a rubber chicken out of my pocket. I stood up and squeezed it hard. I'll give you one more chance to rephrase that. He is the dashingly handsome, radiant, extraordinary, and regal young master Gu Shiyan. I nodded in satisfaction as my assistant went on. Gu Shiyan's ideal type wears red and is incredibly handsome, and has a very upright, noble face. Everyone's eyes instantly turned to Bai Ningbing. Wait a minute, Bai Ningbing did wear a red dress yesterday, but Gu Shiyan said handsome. Could it be? As I watched the guests' confused looks, I rolled my eyes, gave a fake cough, and explained, I was talking about the great helmsman. Red clothing, handsome, and an upright face. That's clearly a red banknote, isn't it? Bai Ningbing was speechless. Guests, you may go have breakfast now. Wash up, get changed. I casually made 2 sandwiches. Transfer the money. Bai Ningbing reached out and took the sandwich. Affection level with target character +5. Bai Ningbing noticed a pattern. The affection only goes up when I take money. Could it be that even her world-class beauty isn't as charming as cold, hard cash? Yep, I'm the first one heading out. The production team picked a playground, but all the kids are in school right now. With nobody around, I turned to the staff. We don't have to pay to get in here, right? The staff nodded awkwardly. He suspected I was dissing their director, but he had no proof. Woohoo, while my partner hasn't arrived yet, I decided to hit the slide. I felt the breeze on my face. It felt so free and easy. I was having the time of my life. Suddenly, a beautiful figure appeared. Bai Qingshui looked down at me from above. Having that much fun on a slide? Did you never get to play as a kid? Her tone was dripping with superiority. I rolled my eyes. Yeah, sure. I stood up and walked over to the spacewalker machine. Bai Qingshui followed me. Actually, if you hadn't gotten lost as a child, my fiancé would be yours. I scoffed. Then go tell your fiancé to back off and let us be together. Marriage isn't a joke. Then why are you spewing nonsense? It was the first time Bai Qingshui felt defeated by a man. She turned to say something else, but I was already gone. Bai Qingshui followed me again and got another eye roll. I really seemed to annoy her. Which is weird, because if she just put the word out, the men who'd line up to love her could wrap around the earth. I run an entertainment company. If you're interested, I can sign you. I said it bluntly. You're not trying to keep me as your mistress again, are you? How could you say that? You're Hao Hao's brother, of course I want to give you a hand. I let out a long "oh," and said, I'll pass. I wouldn't even jump ship from my own crappy little company, I added, as Bai Qingshui threw out another topic. Didn't you come on this dating show to find someone? But I don't see you taking an interest in anyone. She even suspected I was acting cold and aloof on purpose just to get the girl's attention. I'm just here for the money, I said. Bai Qingshui was momentarily speechless. But then she realized I wasn't wrong. After all, I've been loyal to the money since day one. Meanwhile, Bai Ningbing was dropped off at the entrance of a large amusement park. The male guest arrived at the exact same time. It was Ji Boda stepping out of the car. He paused for a second when he saw her. Then, he quickly flashed a smile. Hey there. Bai Ningbing felt a bit disappointed, but out of politeness, she gave him a small nod. Ji Boda stepped forward and tried to take her by the wrist, but Bai Ningbing pulled away immediately. What do you think you're doing? Ji Boda couldn't help but laugh. Have you never dated before? You seem so shy. Bai Ningbing scoffed. As if. Impossible. I'm a total heartthrob, okay? Fine, let's hold hands then. I don't really do these rides. I might get a little scared. As Ji Boda said this, he reached out his hand toward Bai Ningbing, looking completely relaxed and easygoing. Bai Ningbing laughed, then suddenly grabbed a staff member's hand, and placed it into Ji Boda's. He'll give you the most thoughtful protection. He'll give you the most sincere love. With him, you won't be afraid of the road ahead anymore. Ji Boda just felt like Bai Ningbing might be a bit crazy too. Forgive me for cackling like a goose in front of my screen. Honk honk honk. No geese allowed on the internet. This Bai Ningbing is also unhinged. She and Gu Shiyan are really two peas in a pod. You couldn't have one without the other. The staff member blushed bright red. They quickly pulled their hand back, saying, I can protect you too. You really have to laugh when you're at a loss for words. The director in front of the monitor had a big head and even bigger confusion. Is this even a dating show? Is there a single normal couple here? But the engagement was actually pretty good, so the director kept watching the next pair. The next couple's destination was a coffee shop, Shi Hao and Zhang Shuiying. Zhang Shuiying looked a bit surprised. I thought the production team was going to pair me with Zhao Bei. But I'm still super happy to go on a date with young Master Shi. Shi Hao smiled. Same here. Zhang Shuiying snapped her fingers. 2 coffees, please. Extra sugar, extra milk. Shi Hao was stunned. He hadn't asked for extra sugar and milk. I ordered for you. I remember Zhao Bei likes things a bit sweeter. You and Zhao Bei are about the same age, so your tastes should be pretty similar, right? She gave him a sweet smile as she said this. Shi Hao nodded. I'm not picky. After the coffees arrived, Zhang Shuiying made a gesture for him to go ahead. Shi Hao took a symbolic sip. It's good. If it's good, drink up. Shi Hao already didn't really want any more. That milky taste was just overwhelming. Why don't we chat for a bit? Zhang Shuiying handed him a napkin. You've got some milk on your lip. Just as Shi Hao was about to reach for it, Zhang Shuiying stood up and wiped it for him. After wiping it, she scratched her head. Sorry about that. I'm just used to taking care of Zhao Bei. Shi Hao was lost in thought. Could it be that Zhang Shuiying likes him too? He flashed a smile. You must really love your husband, right? Zhang Shuiying nodded. I'm so envious of your husband. He's lucky to have such a wonderful woman. Things were going great at the cafe, with every word carefully weighed with ulterior motives. Lin Bei's match is Shi Bian, and they're having their date at a Western restaurant. They weren't hungry yet, so they just ordered a small dessert. Lin Bei was eating it alone with a spoon. Shi Bian has zero interest in married men. She started looking at her phone, and the two fell into an awkward silence. They barely exchanged a word. They were basically strangers. Are these two filming a silent movie? Since neither is talking, their livestream has the lowest viewership. Fang Yuan waited for ages. He originally thought it would be Shi Bian, but when he saw his date was Shen Yuchu, his expression soured. Why is it you? Even though Fang Yuan and Shi Hao are best buds, their personalities are completely different. He's hot-tempered and blunt. If he's unhappy, it's written all over his face. I don't want to go on a date with her. Tell the director to find me someone else. Shen Yuchu didn't understand why he was reacting so strongly. She tilted her head and looked at the staff. Since Fang Yuan said that, can I just go back to the villa? The director said, if you don't want to film, you can go home. Fang Yuan was fuming. He didn't expect the show to arrange their date at a bookstore, and a no-talking one at that. Shen Yuchu casually picked out a novel she liked to read, while Fang Yuan barked an order. Shen Yuchu, come here. Shen Yuchu frowned. Keeping her composure in front of the cameras, she asked, what is it? Fang Yuan pointed at the bookshelf. I want that book. Get it for me. Shen Yuchu was stunned. Seeing her frozen in place, Fang Yuan snapped angrily. What are you just standing there for? Aren't you my date? Can't you even do something this simple? Was this guy Gangplank in his past life? He's a total walking powder keg. Shen Yuchu couldn't be bothered with him. She turned to leave, and Fang Yuan followed her. He reached out to grab her. You get back here right now. I didn't give you permission to move. Are you deaf? Let go of me. No. Just asking, isn't this supposed to be a dating show? Why is everyone acting so hilarious? I have 5 different streams open at once, and I haven't seen a single pink bubble of romance. This show is seriously going to be the death of me. At noon, the guests returned to the villa. They were all starving. Shi Hao made a suggestion. How about this? Let's take turns cooking. 2 guests per meal. Zhang Shuiying chimed in. Right, that way the kitchen won't be too crowded. Others can take care of their own business too. It's fair for everyone. I couldn't be bothered and headed straight to the kitchen to start cooking. Gu Shiyan is so proactive. Let's let him handle lunch first, then. Zhang Shuiying spoke up, though inside she was calculating, if I say yes, then lunch for today is sorted. But if I don't, I'm afraid it'll annoy everyone. When did I ever say I agreed? You guys are really good at jumping to conclusions, aren't you? Zhang Shuiying said with a smile. Gu Shiyan, you wouldn't be that antisocial, would you? Everyone agrees with Shi Hao's idea. Unless, of course, you're holding a grudge against him? So what you're saying is, if I don't cook for you all today, then that makes me antisocial, or it means I'm holding a grudge against Shi Hao, right? I wouldn't think that, but surely everyone else will, she replied. Bai Ningbing chimed in slowly. Well, I certainly wouldn't think that. I'm pretty broad-minded, but tell me, Zhang Shuiying, why do you think Yan Yan would hold a grudge against Shi Hao? Did he do something to wrong Yan Yan? As Bai Ningbing spoke, she draped an arm over my shoulder. I gave her a sharp look, but I didn't pull away. Yan Yan? She called him Yan Yan. Oh my god, I'm shipping this. Sharp, biting, and straight to the point. Master Gu Shiyan. Having occupied another's place for so many years, if it were me, I'd resent him too. The guests all went silent. I see. Is it because of what Yan Yan said yesterday, Zhang, that you're offended? So you're trying to set a trap for Yan Yan, is that it? No, I didn't. Zhang Shuiying hurried to explain. Bai Ningbing kept twisting the knife. Lin Bei, you haven't checked her phone yet, have you? She probably gave you a bunch of high-sounding excuses. Things like, checking phones ruins trust, or don't let an outsider's words destroy our relationship, and so on. Lin Bei's eyes lit up. How did you know? I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, it's identical. Zhang Shuiying thought to herself that sometimes, having a husband who is too naive isn't necessarily a good thing. Shen Yuchu spoke up. Brother Xian is definitely not that kind of person, because he's so good at cooking. People with cruel hearts could never make delicious food. Shi Hao chimed in. I also believe Brother Yan wouldn't hold a grudge against me. Oh, I resent you. I really do. Even though I was saying I hated him, my tone was incredibly flat. It was like talking about what I had for lunch. Shi Hao's expression soured. I don't know what I can do to make you forgive me. But when you got lost as a child, Dad adopted me so Mom wouldn't be heartbroken. After all these years, my biological parents have long since disappeared. I can't just leave the Shi family, and I can't bear to leave my family. As Shi Hao spoke, his voice started to choke up. I've lost count of how many times he's said this. Yet every time they hear it, the Shi family acts like they're under a spell. Take Shi Bian, for instance. She looked furious right now. Gu Shiyan, the Shi family already brought you home. We intended to make up for all those years you spent drifting away. We never looked down on you once, and we gave you the same allowance as Hao. Yet you keep causing trouble again and again. As Shi Bian said this, she kept stepping back, as if she were terrified I might actually hit her. Shi Bian kept backing away as she said this, clearly terrified I might lay a hand on her. It's weirdly funny. If I had heard something like that back in the day, my first reaction would have been sadness, and my second, misery. The Shi family never thinks they're wrong about anything. Just by taking me back in, they thought I should be groveling with gratitude. Is that what you call making amends? Letting me live in the servants' quarters? trashing or breaking the gifts I gave you whenever you wanted? Just because Shi Hao said he liked them, you just handed them over to him. Was I supposed to be in charge of your 3 meals a day? Getting bossed around like some kind of lapdog? And when I got sick, was it so I could get better faster that you overdosed me on meds and landed me in the hospital? Shi Bian froze. No, that's not. So the real son had it that rough at the Shi house? No wonder he wanted to leave. I just have to say, he had it coming. The Shi family accepting some vagrant, lower class person was generous enough. Hey, what kind of bullcrap are you spewing in the comments? Shi Bian retorted, we put you in the servants' room. Because there weren't any empty rooms left. And you were happy about it yourself. You insisted on giving us those gifts. None of us even liked them. You did the cooking yourself. Nobody forced you to do it. And it wasn't me who gave you that medicine at the hospital. I laughed out loud. I stopped wasting my breath. You can never wake someone who's pretending to be asleep. I grabbed a broom and charged at her. Oh, yeah? So I'm willing, huh? Well, I'm willing to beat you, too. As soon as Shi Bian saw me charging with the broom, she took off running, and she was fast. I chased her hard, throwing whatever I could get my hands on. I let it all fly at Shi Bian. Help, help me. Shi Bian ran in a circle and came right back. Shi Hao blocked her path. Don't treat my second sister like that. I shoved him aside. What are you all standing around for? Stop him. In an instant, the villa was absolute chaos, completely trashed. It ended with me ripping out a chunk of Shi Bian's hair. It was a damn satisfying chase. Ha ha ha. Shi Hao's suggestion just fizzled out into nothing. That afternoon, when Shi Hao went to the courtyard, he found that a patch of roses had been picked down to the stems. He gasped out loud. It successfully grabbed all the guests' attention. What is it, Shi Hao? Bai Qingshui put down her newspaper and walked out to ask. Shi Hao pointed. The roses here. Someone picked them. I was going to make rose cakes for everyone tonight. They're gone, forget it. Bai Qingshui said dismissively, turning around to go back inside. Shi Hao insisted on asking everyone who took his flowers. He went through the whole list, and everyone said they didn't know. I was napping in my room when someone knocked on my door. I got up to open it. Yan, did you see the roses in the courtyard? No. Shi Hao peered through the gap and saw the vase on my nightstand. Then what's that? I said calmly, roses. So you did see them. Even if you stole the roses, you don't have to be so smug about it. Stole them? Does it have your name written on these roses? How can you prove they're yours? What's the matter? Did you eat too much at lunch, and now your mouth is running wild? Shi Hao was so pissed off by my vulgar language that he decided to make everyone else judge the situation. 5 minutes later, the guests were called into the living room, and Shi Hao began his explanation. I was planning to go pick some roses just now, and follow an online tutorial to bake some flower cakes to share with everyone. I didn't expect the flowers to be gone, so I just wanted to know who picked them. I didn't mean to blame anyone, but I saw these flowers in Brother Yan's room. Yet she refused to admit it. Bai Ningbing let out a scoffing laugh. So that's what this is about. Is a few flowers really worth making such a big fuss over? Gu Shiyan didn't pick those flowers, I did. Zhang Shuiying also laughed, saying, who doesn't know you and Gu Shiyan are thick as thieves? You don't need to take the blame for him. Bullshit. I'm a woman, he's a man. How could we possibly be sharing pants? Bai Ningbing slammed her hand on the table, sounding righteous. My god, that's a wild focus. Sister, you're actually hilarious. I think Shi Hao is just being incredibly petty. It's just a few flowers. Is it really necessary to make such a big deal out of it? And you keep going on about making flower cakes for everyone. I already said I didn't steal the flowers. So, how did those flowers end up in your room? Bai Qingshui demanded. Bai Ningbing was about to say that she had given them to me. I gave her a look to stop her. What a joke. If anyone else found out, they'd think Bai Ningbing and I had some kind of shady relationship. I snatched them, he said calmly. Shi Hao laughed. Brother Yan, do you really think we believe that? I don't care if you believe it or not. I started to walk away as soon as I said that. Shi Hao blocked my path. Brother Yan, since you picked the flowers, the flower cakes I was going to make for everyone are ruined. Even if you don't want to apologize to me, you should at least apologize to everyone else. Man, this Shi Hao guy is pretty toxic. Do you guys even like eating flower cakes? The guests all shook their heads in perfect unison. Who the hell would dare to speak up? This is the first time I've seen the guests act so unified. It's just the fear of being dominated by Brother Yan. I smirked. Do you like eating flower cakes that much? Shi Hao looked sanctimonious. So what if I do? MMPH. Before Shi Hao could even react, I shoved the rose heads right into his mouth. I gripped his chin with one hand. Didn't you say you like eating them? Eat up. You think you're pretty special, don't you? Since when did those roses become yours? You think you're so great? Why don't you go buy the whole production crew? Make them all listen to you. Gu Shiyan, stop it right now. Shi Bian couldn't watch anymore. Shi Bian, you really don't understand your brother. He loves rose cakes the most. I laughed as I said that. The more I acted like this, the less anyone dared to step in. After I left, Shi Hao acted as if he had suffered the greatest injustice. He spat out the roses and started crying on the sofa. I just wanted to find the truth. I didn't mean to blame Brother Yan at all. First, he shifted the blame onto Ningbing. And then he forced those roses down my throat. Wah, Shi Bian was acting like her heart was breaking. Don't you realize Gu Shiyan is a big star? Masashi, don't bother with him. He's not one to hold back. Bai Ningbing laughed. Those roses are really mine. Besides, these flowers were already in the villa. They aren't yours. What right do you have to find out who picked them? If you truly didn't blame the person who picked the roses, then what's the point of finding out? That really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Is Shi Hao trying to play the victim? Shi Hao froze. Bai Qingshui couldn't be bothered with this nonsense. It was 9:30 p.m. I sauntered over to the hallway, where a lucky cat figurine was placed in the corner. I walked up to it and gave the cat's paw a gentle poke. Hey there, either pay up, or I'll tell the other guests. What do you mean? I said, taking my time. The director in front of the monitors shivered. It was as if he could hear the sound of a blade against his throat. 5 minutes later, I sauntered into the director's room. Aside from a bed for sleeping, there were 6 computers in the room. You're trying to blackmail me with this? I picked at my ear, listening to the director's endless yapping about how this kind of behavior was. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not blackmailing you. You're giving it to me of your own free will. The director was so angry he could scream. He looked ready to explode on the spot. Had he really spent 6 million just to hire this freak? He hadn't seen much of a boost in popularity. Instead, this person had single-handedly managed to suck all the romantic atmosphere out of a dating show. The director took a deep breath. Name your price. I held up 5 fingers, and the director's eyes widened in shock. Even the assistant couldn't help but step back, terrified. This Gu Shiyan was actually asking for the moon. He asked for 5 million right off the bat, 500. After I finished speaking, a dead silence fell. The director and his assistant exchanged bewildered glances. Were they hallucinating? Did he think 500 was too much? You're supposed to be a big shot director, right? I'll give you 1,000. I pulled out my phone as I spoke and transferred the money to myself. I was absolutely thrilled. I never expected to get extra cash just for lounging around, eating, and drinking for free all day without having to work. Wait, the director said, feeling nervous. What is it now? Your show is too cliché. It has no originality, and the celebrities you've invited aren't exactly high profile. The non-celebrities have no personality either. The only pair people are obsessed with online. That, dying for love, couple is fake, and the guests aren't even united. They're all just conniving and petty. You call this dangerous relations. I haven't seen the relations get dangerous anywhere. It's just entirely pointless. Why don't you let me take over as director? I patted him on the shoulder. Getting antsy? But you're smart, too. You know how to use surprise tactics. I look forward to seeing what kind of jaw-dropping dramatic scenes you can come up with. After I finished my critique, I sauntered off with a flourish. The director was furious. Tomorrow, I'll show him exactly what dangerous relations means. Wake up the planning team and call a meeting. I'm off the clock. A meeting? As soon as I stepped out, I saw a familiar figure. Shi Hao was gripping his phone, retreating in a panic. I glanced at the door behind him, deep in thought. Shi Hao turned to leave without a word, but I stepped forward and blocked his path. What did you film? Shi Hao remained calm and composed. I'm just wandering around. I don't know what you're talking about. I look at him coldly. There's just the two of us here. There's no need to pretend anymore. Shi Hao is always so guarded. Even when we're alone at the Shi family estate, he never drops that Guai Chao, easygoing mask of his. He never leaves a single crack. Honestly, I'm impressed by his acting skills. Brother Yan, you and I both know exactly what kind of shady things you've been up to. I let out a dry laugh. If you don't say it out loud, how am I supposed to know what I've done? Shi Hao isn't falling for it. He turns to leave, but I grab his wrist. I pin him against the wall and reach for his phone. Sister, Shi Hao cries out. Gu Shiyan. What do you think you're doing? Her voice is filled with rage. Shi Bian rushes over, pulls me away, and raises her hand, ready to slap me. I catch her wrist and stomp down hard on her foot. Shi Bian recoils in pain, her face twisted. Gu Shiyan, have you had enough yet? Their shouting draws the other guests out. What are you doing not sleeping in the middle of the night? Bai Qingshui watches them coldly. Shi Hao jogs over and hides behind Bai Qingshui. Sister Qingshui, Brother Yan just kept trying to snatch my phone. I have no idea what's going on. Gu Shiyan, why are you trying to take Hao Hao's phone? Delete the video on the phone, and I won't make things difficult for you. Shi Hao is clearly committed to playing dumb. What video? I don't know what you're talking about. I was just heading downstairs to get some water. You suddenly grabbed me and tried to take my phone. Do you think you can just do whatever you want because there are no cameras around? I laugh out loud. Even with cameras, I'd still do whatever I want. If I recall correctly, this area belongs to the female guests' rooms, right? Gu Shiyan, what are you doing over here? Zhang Shuiying asks. Like that's any of your business? Cut the crap. I demand the phone. Shi Hao shakes his head. He knows he shouldn't give it to me. With so many people around, he figures I wouldn't dare try to snatch it by force. It's not that I wouldn't dare, I just find it to be a hassle. Gu Shiyan, are you hiding something shady? Otherwise, why keep trying to grab the phone? Are you scared someone captured something? Bai Qingshui stares at me. Shady? Hardly. I'm just afraid of people making trouble out of nothing and trying to pin a dirty label on me. Bai Ningbing lets out a lazy yawn. Yan, where did you go just now? The director's room? I had some business with him. Shi Hao lowers his head. His eyes dart around quickly, then he lets out a heavy sigh. Fine, brother Yan, I know you want to be famous. But you don't have to sell yourself out like this. How heartbroken would mom and dad be if they knew? Shi Baiyan's eyes go wide. Gu Shiyan, you've gone too far. Why on earth would you go to the director's room in the middle of the night? Listening to their back and forth accusations, I feel completely calm, almost amused. See that? They haven't even seen the video yet, and they're already smearing me. Just imagine, if this video hits the internet and they hire a few gossip accounts to spin a story. Looks like I've got another scandal to add to my list, don't I, Shi Hao? Shi Hao was startled. He had only intended to teach me a lesson. Besides, what else would I be doing up late at night other than seducing the director? We couldn't possibly be having a late-night heart-to-heart, could we? He truly believed he was in the right. Someone as twisted and devious as me should just leave the dating show, leave the Shi family, and disappear from his world forever, instead of acting like some filthy pest. Constantly popping out to take a bite out of him. Yan Chi-e, if you didn't do anything wrong, I certainly wouldn't release it. Although he said that, Shi Hao had already made up his mind. He was definitely going to release the video. As for what the netizens might think, that was out of his control. This was the perfect chance to let the female guests see that whatever he did was for the sake of justice. Bai Ningbing spoke up. This is so easy to solve, isn't it? Just call the director out and confront him face to face. Isn't that enough? Shi Hao challenged. But if the director has something going on with Yan Ji, he's obviously going to take his side, right? I laughed out loud. So, you've already decided that there's something shady between the director and me? Even if I get the director to come out for a confrontation, it won't matter, will it? Deleting the video won't work either. Searching for the truth with the director won't work. He's just waiting for the moment I slip up so he can get at me. Then he'd have a legitimate reason to leak the video and let the internet tear me apart. There was no doubt that, given my current reputation, the netizens would definitely bash me, especially the haters. Yan Ji, you should reflect on why people question your character in the first place. Why is it that no one is standing by your side to believe you? Bai Ningbing listened to Shi Hao, and was so incensed by his twisting of the facts that her cheeks puffed up. I stand with Gu Shiyan. I was stunned, slowly raising my gaze to look at her. Bai Ningbing repeated firmly, I believe Gu Shiyan and the director have a clean, professional relationship. Shi Hao, if I find out you've gone online and spread this video to smear Gu Shiyan, you'd better see what I'll do to you. That was a warning. I had never seen Bai Ningbing get so angry on my behalf. Detected. Favorability from the target character, Gu Shiyan, is now at 10%. Received a hidden gift pack. 1 truth serum charm. Bai Ningbing was ecstatic inside. My face was numb from holding back a smile, so I didn't bother continuing the pointless argument. I turned and walked away. Seeing that the main characters of the scene were gone, the other guests drifted back to their rooms. Not long after, the delivery guy called to say he was outside. I went downstairs and vaguely made out 2 people sitting on the living room sofa. Only a few wall lamps were on, leaving the room quite dim. Qingshui Jiji, I'm so scared. Will Yan Ji keep targeting me like this? Shi Hao's voice was weak. Bai Qingshui gulped, her hand slowly resting on his thigh. The two of them leaned their heads in toward each other. Shi Hao's heart hammered like a drum. He was pleasantly surprised. Was Qingshui Jiji about to kiss him? It was worth all those times he'd hinted at his feelings to her. Shi Hao closed his eyes, his entire body trembling slightly. Just as they were about to touch, a voice suddenly echoed in the room. Hello? Shi Hao was so startled his heart nearly stopped. Bai Qingshui was terrified too. I watched the two of them with great interest. This is my first time watching a live broadcast. I have to say, I'm pretty excited. I hope I didn't interrupt you two. That romantic mood Bai Qingshui was in just completely vanished. She stood up, fuming. Gu Shiyan, are you out of your mind? Wow, you noticed? Yeah, my mental state isn't exactly great right now. I just love messing with people when I'm bored. Ha ha ha. Bai Qingshui turned on her heel and stormed off, while Shi Hao's face turned bright red. Knowing he probably hated my guts, I leaned in toward him with a playful smile. You like your sister Qingshui that much? Shi Hao suddenly got a bad feeling. What the hell is Gu Shiyan up to? He's not actually trying to steal sister Qingshui from him, is he? As if I could read his mind, I said, like I told you, I have zero interest in that piece of work. But tell me, do you think your sister Qingshui likes you more, or Ji Boda? Just as expected, Shi Hao's face changed instantly. I am Qingshui's fiancé. Who does he think he is? Shi Hao exploded, then realized he'd said too much. Ji Boda is right there by the stairs watching you. Don't you want to say hi? Shi Hao jumped in shock and stood up, looking toward the stairs. But there was nobody there. Realizing he'd been played, Shi Hao gritted his teeth in anger. I pressed down on his head and whispered in his ear. Your sister Qingshui tried to get involved with me for favors. You tell me, if I just beckoned her right now, wouldn't she come running like a dog? Shi Hao looked like he'd been struck by lightning. He was completely stunned, and I just breezed right past him. I felt absolutely fantastic. After all, I'm the villainous male lead. Isn't doing villainous things exactly what I'm supposed to be doing? I went back to my room with some spicy crawfish, eating and scrolling through my phone. I was looking for a show to watch and maybe study some acting along the way. As I was scrolling, a push notification popped up. Gu Shiyan enters director's room in the middle of the night. Gu Shiyan's second sister reveals all. I was left totally confused. I clicked on it, and it was actually posted by Shi Bian from her main account. Shi Bian was acting like she was possessed, completely losing her mind. The video showed me entering the director's room. Then I walked out about 10 minutes later. The footage was completely unedited. I must have triggered Shi Hao just now, and he had her post it. At least he knows how to find a scapegoat. Even if the director and I have nothing going on. It's not on Shi Hao anyway, it was Shi Bian who chose to post it. He commented idiot under the post. That one word lit the fuse for Shi Hao's fans. And my own haters. They immediately dug up every bit of dirt on me and started trashing me. I ate my fill, fought them online until dawn, and by early the next morning. All the guests were actually there, eating breakfast together. Everyone looked different. Gu Shiyan is here. Oh, man, this is going to be good. Haha, Gu Shiyan must be exhausted. After all, I saw him replying to haters until 4 in the morning. I rummaged through the fridge, grabbed a sandwich, and started munching on it. Seeing me show zero reaction, Shi Bian couldn't help but ask. Gu Shiyan, what is your problem? I looked at her, completely bewildered. Did you hear what I said? I retorted. Well, did you hear what I said? Shi Bian asked, confused. Did I say anything to her? What an idiot. With a cold, mocking tone, Shi Hao said. Yan Ji, I've already talked to second sister. She's willing to accept you and let you come work at our family company. You're probably not getting anywhere in the entertainment industry anyway. You're such a moron. Seriously, bro? Is this really how Gu Shiyan acts? If I were his dad, I'd slap him right in the face. Finally, I know why he's hated by everyone online. So he's that kind of person. You two idiots above are the real morons. What did Yan Ji ever do to them? They won't stop pestering him every single day. Bai Ningbing burst out laughing and gave me a thumbs up in silence. Then, she slowly spoke up. Let me guess. This video didn't just magically appear on your phone, did it? Or did someone cry and complain to you? Saying they were scared and blah, 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 and you took it upon yourself to get this video? Thinking you'd play hero for your little brother? You figured that once the video was out, Gu Shiyan would be pressured by public opinion and forced to quit the dating show, and even if the director spoke up, it wouldn't matter. After all, Gu Shiyan has those rumors about his past. To save the show's reputation, the director would have no choice but to let him go. Of course, you didn't want to look heartless, so you'd offer him a job at your company. Am I right? Shi Bian's face changed instantly. How? How do you know that? Everyone is right here. The director walked over, pulled out a chair, and sat down. Let me just explain this to everyone. Last night, Gu Shiyan, myself, and his assistant Tian. We were all in the same room. There was no improper relationship whatsoever. Shi Hao spotted a flaw. Can I ask a question? Why did Yan Ji go to see you? The director rubbed his nose. Well, I interrupted. The director asked me to teach him how to do a backflip. I swallowed the sandwich in one bite. Let me demonstrate. It's just like this. I placed my hands on the ground and did a backflip. It was incredibly smooth and practiced. The guests' mouths dropped open in an O shape. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed it. I stood up and clapped my hands. Director Wang was stunned. He cleared his throat and explained. Anyway, please don't spread rumors. Gu Shiyan and I are innocent. So, he won't be leaving the show just because of some online pressure. Director Wang definitely wasn't going to mention the hidden camera. After all, he still needed it to stir up drama for the show. Seeing that his plan failed, Shi Hao could only give up in frustration. The director continued to announce the next part of the program. Guests had gotten pretty familiar with each other, so it was time for the pairing segment. This time, it's a free choice system for the couples. There are pink paper hearts hidden all over the villa. We stop at 6 o'clock. The top 3 in the rankings get to choose their partners. Whoever you choose will be your partner for the rest of this episode, and the remaining guests will be paired randomly. Which means the top 3 get the picking power. If the first place chooses the second place, then the second place loses their right to choose. It's definitely safer to aim for first place. The rule is that anything goes. In other words, no matter what method you use, the one who collects the most pink hearts gets first place. I'm not interested in picking a partner, but I do like coming in first. Bai Qingshui was sitting on the sofa. She suddenly wiggled her hips and stood up. Bai Ningbing burst out laughing. What's wrong? What's scratching you on the sofa? Bai Qingshui reached out and felt under the sofa cushion. She pulled out a heart. I was shocked. Is this the power of the female lead's halo? What about the male lead? Let's start looking, then. Shi Hao stood up. He hadn't taken 2 steps before he moved his foot slightly and spotted a heart. Shi Hao was ecstatic. The first one. Yay. I felt like right now I should channel my inner villainous supporting character and just reach out and snatch it. But to my surprise, someone was faster than me. Bai Ningbing reached out and grabbed it for herself. She held it up to admire it. Not bad at all. Ha ha ha, so true. I can't take it. Why did I get the feeling that Gu Shiyan wanted to grab it just now too? I snorted. Taking advantage of the moment Bai Qingshui was stunned watching Bai Ningbing, I turned around and snatched the heart right out of her hand. Gu Shiyan. Bai Qingshui let out a shout that successfully drew everyone's attention. I toyed with the heart in my hand. It really was pretty nice. Affection points. Affection points. Affection points. Stop chanting, master. It didn't go up, Bai Ningbing said, crestfallen, before speaking up again. It's all about skill. Why are you shouting so loud? Zhang Shuiying grabbed Lin Bei's hand. Little, I will definitely work hard to get into the top 3 and then choose you. Sensing everyone's gaze, Lin Bei felt inexplicably awkward and tried his best to pull his hand back. Alright, I thought about it carefully. In this episode, Zhang Shuiying seems to be paired with Shi Hao. The two of them are being all lovey-dovey. They've become soulmates, and the female lead, Bai Qingshui, is jealous and envious. She's intentionally getting intimate with Jiboda, while Lin Bei is just acting like an idiot, still grinning happily. As for me, I'm controlled by the plot, forced to give all the hearts to Bai Qingshui. I even have to give a deep, heartfelt confession, only to be mocked by everyone as expected. The guests have all started searching for the hearts. I reached my hand into a flower bed. Before I could even touch anything, someone got there first, prying the entire plant apart and pulling out the heart inside. She stuffed it into her pocket with lightning speed. Zhang Shuiying said with self-righteous confidence. Didn't we say? By any means necessary. Even though you spotted it first, I was 1 step faster than you. After saying that, Zhang Shuiying turned and went to look for the next one. She flipped the sofa inside out, but didn't find a single one. Zhang Shuiying lay down on the rug, preparing to see if there was anything underneath. Her gaze swept around, and she suddenly locked eyes with a pair of blue eyes. Zhang Shuiying screamed in fright. On the other side of the sofa, I crawled up from the floor. I will monitor you forever. Are you crazy? When Gu Shiyan crouched down, I already felt like something was wrong. Seriously, I'm dying of laughter. Zhang Shuiying, of all people to steal from, why did you have to pick Gu Shiyan? I followed Zhang Shuiying wherever she went. At the top of the stairs, Jiboda and Shi Hao were already in a standoff. I found this one first. Shi Hao held onto one end of the heart without letting go, but he didn't dare to pull too hard. Jiboda spoke up, but I'm the one who got it first. I crossed my arms. Hold on a second, I feel like I missed something. In the blink of an eye, someone else rushed over. That's Hao's. Are you right or not? Stealing someone else's stuff? This Feng Yuan is truly a beast. Talk about soul-stirring brotherly love. The 3 of them are at a stalemate. None of them shows any intention of backing down. Jiboda gets shoved and lets out a cry of surprise. He falls helplessly to the side. Bai Qingshui is here. Quick, catch Jiboda. Something feels off. Just as Jiboda is about to hit the floor, his wrist is suddenly grabbed. He slowly opens his eyes. Instead of the delicate, pretty face he imagined, he sees my handsome, dashing mug. I smirk. How long do you plan on staying in my arms? What about Bai Qingshui? She was going to rush over to grab Jiboda, but she didn't expect me to shove her into the corner. Bai Qingshui crawls up from the floor. Gu Shiyan, are you freaking insane? I got a taste of what it's like to be the male lead in a novel, being fought over by 3 people. The pink heart is already shattered in 2. Feng Yuan is willing but lacks the power. He didn't push Jiboda on purpose. Who knows what's going on with that guy? Jiboda looks at the steps and gives a bitter laugh. I know you still care that Qingshui pursued me in college, but you don't have to get your brother to lay a hand on me like that. If Gu Shiyan hadn't caught me, I might have fallen down. I step back silently, enjoying the look of shock on Shi Hao's face. This pity play is Shi Hao's go-to move. He used it all the time back at the Shi family estate. I never thought the day would come where it would be used on me. I didn't do it. Jiboda seems incredibly disappointed. Qingshui, don't worry. From now on, I'll definitely stay far away from you. If it really comes down to it, let's just pretend we don't know each other. I'm deep in thought. This NPC doesn't seem to like Bai Qingshui either. Looking at it, he's clearly acting as a disruptor. A real thorn in the side of the main couple in the original story. A roadblock on their path to true love. After getting past this obstacle, they'll finally have their happy ending. Jiboda finishes speaking without giving Bai Qingshui a chance to respond. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. Are you being serious? Feng Yuan feels like something is wrong, but he can't figure out what this has to do with Bai Qingshui. Bai Qingshui gives Shi Hao a long, hard look. How, I thought you were actually quite innocent. Shi Hao is confused. What did he even do? Is it just about grabbing a pink heart? I try to hold back my laughter. I rummage through the first aid kit. I was originally planning to give him some pain relief ointment. Seeing that no one is around, I shove it straight into my pocket. Chiboda looks at the ointment, surprised. Aren't you going to use it? I ask him. Chiboda is leaning weakly against the sofa. Wait a bit. I squat down, acting like I'm going to take off his shoes and socks. An ankle injury can't wait. Let me help you. Chiboda presses down on my hand, saying, no need. I chuckle. Putting on quite a show, aren't you? Chiboda seemed a bit surprised as I slowly spoke up. Whatever you do from now on, don't drag me into it, and don't try to use me. Not even for a single word. Chiboda laughed. You didn't call me out in front of the cameras today, and you even played along. I thought you were interested in teaming up. Team up for what? Except for Bai Ningbing. Everyone else on this dating show is pretty hostile toward you. Don't tell me you didn't come on this show for the clout. I let out a laugh. Why would I care about whether people like me or not? Chiboda was stunned. You don't care? I don't care how you and Shi Hao fight over who's the alpha. But don't involve me, got it? Chiboda nodded, looking dumbfounded. And what did you come on the show for? What, 6 million? The fee, obviously. Chiboda was speechless. Someone actually went on this crappy show and let netizens trash them all day just for that pittance? I walked to the door and added, oh, by the way. I happened to take your pink heart token while I was at it. When did Gu Shiyan swipe it? You've got to be kidding me. Shi Hao searched everywhere but couldn't find Bai Qingshui. Fang Yuan followed behind him. How, don't panic. We can just explain it. It was Chiboda who was spouting nonsense. I didn't push him on purpose. How could you blame me? Shi Hao's eyes turned red. This is all your fault. He stuck his neck out for her. How could she say something like that? Fang Yuan turned and stormed off in anger. I leaned against the wall, watching the show. Shi Hao asked, Brother Yan? Are you happy seeing Fang Yuan and me at odds? I am, actually. Shi Hao thought I was being a bit too blunt. Couldn't I even pretend? Don't you think that's a bit messed up? What's so messed up about it? Let me show you what messed up really looks like, I said, suddenly lunging at him. Shi Hao's face changed, but before he could dodge, I had already grabbed his arms. I pinned his wrists together and snatched the pink heart from his pocket. I tucked it into my own shirt. Give it back. Shi Hao rushed forward to grab it back. Forget it, both of you. You aren't going to get first place anyway, just give up. Do you really have to be so brutal? Bai Ningbing is in first. The others don't have many. Don't tell me Bai Ningbing found her hearts herself? Just like Gu Shiyan, she stole them from others. Ha ha ha, two bandits on a dating show. They really are a toxic pair. No wonder people ship them. Meanwhile, Bai Ningbing had already pinned Shen Yuchu to the carpet, knee pressing against her back. One hand held her arm down. You can kill me, but you can't humiliate me. I won't give it to you. Bai Ningbing chuckled. Not giving it up, huh? Then I'll just have to take it myself. Bai Ningbing didn't hesitate. Ah, stop it. I heard this exchange as I walked over, staring at them without making a sound. I actually think Shen Yuchu and Bai Ningbing have some chemistry. Are the people upstairs serious? I don't approve of this lesbian ship. Bai Ningbing grabbed the heart and walked away without looking back. Hand it over. She turned around and ran right into me. I reached out and snatched it before Bai Ningbing even knew what hit her. I took off running, faster than a rabbit. Why are you running? I'm not even trying to take it from you. I ran into Fang Yuan around the corner. He had a dark look on his face, picking at the leaves of a potted plant in the corner. Hey there, I gave him a friendly greeting. Fang Yuan looked like he was getting a headache the second he saw me. You, what do you want now? Shi Hao said if you're willing to give him that pink heart you're holding. He'll forgive you. Fang Yuan blew his top. Forgive me? I was trying to help him, wasn't I? As he spoke, he pulled out the pink heart. Even if I'm giving it away, I'm not giving it to him. I snatched it from him in a flash. Well, thanks a lot then. Wait, that's not right. If Hao wanted to make up with him, why didn't he come himself? Fang Yuan started to feel like he'd been played. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Lin Bei was getting hungry. He decided to make some instant noodles to tide him over. He held an egg, ready to drop it in. But he didn't really know how. Let me do it. I reached over, and Lin Bei looked completely flattered. I turned the heat down a bit, then tapped the egg against the edge of the pot. The egg dropped perfectly into the water without a single speck of shell falling in. Wow, you're amazing. I realize this little dummy really loves to dish out compliments. I guess this is what you call providing emotional value. Since he's so generous with his praise. I added the seasoning packet. This way the noodles will be more flavorful. How many pink hearts have you found? Lin Bei took them out and counted them up. 5. I was just about to make my move to grab them. But Lin Bei just handed them over. Here you go. That totally caught me off guard. You're just giving them to me? Don't you want something in return for me cooking your noodles? I thought you wanted these. If you need money, I can transfer it to you. Unless I'm mistaken, that gesture Gu Shiyan just made earlier, he was trying to swipe them. Ha ha ha, I dropped the noodles into the pot. No need, they'll be ready in just a minute. You keep an eye on them. I've got things to do, I'm heading out. I turned to leave, but Lin Bei grabbed my hand. What are you doing? I'm not really used to people touching me. I tried to pull back, but he held on tight and wouldn't let go. Lin Bei placed the little pink heart in my hand. It's a gift for you. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw. Turn off the heat. Lin Bei hurried to turn off the burner. I wonder if you guys have noticed something yet. Gu Shiyan has managed to get his hands on every single one of the male guests' pink hearts. Upstairs, Bai Ningbing was leaning against the doorframe of Shi Bian's room. Wearing a mischievous grin, Shi Bian was speechless. What exactly do you want? I want your heart. Are you freaking kidding me? I meant the pink heart. Ha 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 ha. Was Bai Ningbing doing that on purpose? Bai Ningbing walked inside. Shi Bian, do you know why Gu Shiyan hits you so often? Since when have you always been the one getting beaten? Bai Ningbing countered, starting to count on her fingers. 1, 2, 3. Stop right there. What on earth do you want? Shi Bian finally snapped. Give me the pink heart. Shi Bian was clearly reluctant. I worked so hard to find that. Why should I give it to you? Bai Ningbing tempted her. Don't you actually want to fix your relationship with Gu Shiyan? Shi Bian nodded. Gu Shiyan's brain isn't quite right. I have to get him to a hospital for a checkup, no matter what. Even if he really has a screw loose, he's still my brother. Bai Ningbing felt a wave of nausea. Who was Shi Bian trying to move with this act? Surely not her, right? Give me the heart, and I'll tell you why things turned out this way. After hesitating for 2.5 minutes, Shi Bian pulled out her only heart. Bai Ningbing stared at the single heart, and felt like she could kill Shi Bian right then and there. A single heart had wasted so much of her breath and energy. Bai Ningbing laughed in anger, because you're an idiot.